Hello everyone, welcome. Week 3 of my weekly wrap for 2022. You're sitting here with Jamie Barty. I am Jamie Barty, and this is essentially just a weekly wrap up of what has happened in the week past. And we find ourselves right now, kind of halfway to 2/3 of the way through January of another year of craziness that this whole planet is going on, and there has been a massive convergence by anyone that's sort of got Western technology, and even those that are in second world countries have got this like technology overload right now where we're all watching things on things like right now I'm recording this on my iPhone, iPads, laptops, desktop computers and the likes, and the growth and expansion on things like e-commerce, Amazon as an example, things like online platforms like Shopify has just gone absolutely nuts. The coaching spaces have come out of control as well, with everyone being a coach in all these various and different areas now, where there is massive room, massive growth and opportunities for the good ones to excel and exceed. And one thing that was told to me, I'm just trying to think now, a number of years ago, and I can't remember who told it to me off the top of my head, but there is always room for another good one. So even though we might think that the world is kind of like converging on a digital and there is so much noise of everything, to which there is, if you are good at your craft, you will be good at your deliveries and good at your service offerings and good at your results, and you will get the repeat business. And what I really want to talk to you today that's really highlighted something for me is things around primarily things like social media, right? People talk about how many followers you've got. And yes, it is a numbers game. Don't get me wrong. I am not dismissing the numbers game about this. What I am challenging people to think about right now is what it does to this, what it does to your dopamine levels, the highs and the lows, like way below the frame here, like the depths that people go to when you don't get the number of responses to a post that you might do, or interactions or comments. Don't worry about it. Just keep doing what it is that you need to do. So for me, I come into my space now where I just need to talk my weirdness. I got asked by a friend a number of months ago, they said, you talk in riddles all the time. And I was like, oh, do I? And they're like, see, that in itself is a riddle. I was like, no, it's not. I'm just questioning what it is that you're doing. But what I actually do is I love to have the conversations. And what's interesting about it is I post sometimes regularly, sometimes semi-regularly, and sometimes very intermittently through my social media platforms. I do love Instagram because I have a visual tendency to things where I like to look at things visual. I also have a very strong mind capacity to actually be thinking about stuff, and there's a lot of very quick stimulating stuff on there. Whereas other places I like to go to are places like YouTube, to which is where you're going to be viewing this particular clip here on, and or LinkedIn, which is I'll post this to there as well. But then that's the business mindset, right? So what I'm getting to is there is that many options, there's that many available outlets to be able to put things onto it. And because everyone's in holiday mode right now, because down here in Australia, for those of the rest of you that are watching it throughout the world, we are in our summer. And essentially it is our summer break. So unlike those in the Northern Hemisphere, where you have basically two halves to a year, right? You have your holiday season, which is Christmas and the winter break of 2 weeks, whatever it is, and then you have your June, July summer break. So you kind of split up into two even 6 month halves of the year. Whereas down here in Australia, we essentially have 2 months off, which is basically December and January, which is first of all our summer break. And then second of all, it's also Christmas. So we have both of those things, or holidays, sorry. We have both of those combined into one. Then we go into 10 months essentially straight of work. We have a bit of a break in our winter around the June, July, but not much. So the point is we're in this massive kind of rest and relaxation phase right now. And you've seen this exponential spike in people posting images of, beaches and parties and all these other sorts of fun interactive things. And in talking to someone this week, they were talking about, but my likes are down and my this is this and this is that. And I said, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm going to give my own testimony to this. I post, like I said, sometimes regularly, sometimes semi-regularly, sometimes very intermittently. And I'm very sporadic with what it is because it depends what's up here and what's coming through and what I want to express and share and so on. I have many a post, like dozens of posts, where I get zero traction, right? Zero noise, like as in not a comment, not a like, not anything. Now that's what you think and that's what you see. And you look at that and go, well, why post that? You're not getting any traction. The point to this post, and the reason why I'm sharing this in my weekly wrap this week, is that for me, Like for me, it's not about the number of likes, the number of comments, or the number of followers I've even got. I really don't give two hoots, right? Because the interesting thing about social media, it is a place of shadows. And what I mean by that is people sit not here, where it's visual, where you can see them, but they sit off to the side. And not here, they sit off to the side. And some even sit above, right? And what they do is they just pop in and they look and they view and they observe. And it's interesting, there is still a very, 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 very large percentage and portion of our audience and of people that engage and that are on these platforms that do not be a keyboard warrior and comment everything. We are all too quick and all too often go, keyboard warrior is this, blah, 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 blah. That's fine. They are there doing what they're doing. But for me, in my experience, I really want to convey this to everyone right now. And a lot of the guidance facilitation that I do with organizations and individuals, do not be hell-bent on the number of followers, number of likes, number of comments. Because for me, in my personal experience, the most impacting and the most highly resilient outcomes that I get from what I put in my posts comes from not the likes and not the comments and not the number of followers. It comes from the direct messages, from the people that reach out to me personally and directly, either via phone number, email, or direct message through the social media platforms on the various ones that I'm active on, which is, like I said earlier, LinkedIn for business, YouTube for clips like this, Facebook as well, I'm expanding on that. And Instagram, I do love Instagram. It's a place where I kind of, it resonates for me. So I'm on there more probably than anything, as well as LinkedIn. It's the direct messages. People don't want to have the whole world and life public, right? I, for quite a long time, had a lot of my personal life and experiences and various things on social media on a daily habit. I don't do that now. I'm getting more specific and more tactical with what I do as to how I want to portray what it is that I'm doing with a very specific focus on it, right? It's not to, do something that I am not. It's more, I want to do things that I absolutely am with the key and tactical and very strategic focus on what it is that I want to convey. And more importantly, just express. I want to express me. So over the summer break, I have been talking with a number of people, and one person in specific, Louise, and we have identified that life is simply a journey, right? And we've come up with this phrase now where we want to pioneer the journey to ourselves. I need to pioneer the journey to me. So a part of that is actually expressing and getting out what's up here, what's here, what's in my chest and my heart, and also down in my solar plexus, and getting my whole essence out and getting it expressed and getting it communicated. Because I know when I speak my truths, my worlds, my realities, my experiences, it's not to say that I know all of this, and this. To the contrary, what it's to say is, here's what I know I don't know, and by sharing and expressing this, people come in and have direct contact with me, and through that, we then start to expand and share knowledge and start to cross-pollinate, right? And it's by this cross-pollination that we then create a bond, and that bond becomes actually like blockchain. For those of you that are in the crypto space and everything else, it's like a blockchain. It's irrefutably unbreakable because we start to share and we have this open vulnerability where we open up this space and we just let it out. So to wrap this up, for this week's wrap up, we're all lazy. We're all in our summer phase right now. Many of us don't go back to work until after Australia Day, which is in a week and a half from now or something. And we notice that there will be a shift in the paradigm as to how we're presenting what through social media. And don't get hung up on it. Don't worry about it. Just keep doing you. Keep putting those things out there that you want to do. I encourage you to speak your weirdness, to speak your tongue, to speak what it is that you think, what you see, and what you feel, and get it up and out there. I know it's something that I'm doing, and I'm expanding on it every day. every single day. I used to do my weekly wraps a number of years ago when I was living overseas, and I ceased it for a number of reasons. So this year, I'd made a commitment to myself that every single week for 52 weeks of this year, I will do a weekly wrap, which is just simply that, a wrap up on the week that's been and some projections on what's going forward. So the next week is moving into Australia Day and still more vacation stuff. I am working, but basically the whole ethos of Australia as a culture is quite sedated right now because everyone's on summer vacation. So for me, I look forward to the week ahead, and I just want to share this with you. So take care, have a great week, and I shall be talking to you next week. So all the best and keep safe.